It is time to find out what is underneath that mustache. Send in the FBI. Check it out. Oh, yikes! No wonder they had to arrest him. Welcome to the Chud Report. I'm your host, MJ. Mr. Hanky's out here saying no one is above the law. Mr. Crazy Eyes, no one is above the law except Steve Bannon, who got pardoned. Roger Stone, who got pardoned. Sheriff Aparo, who got pardoned. Or the 1,000, not making a mistake here, saying this number, the 1,701 pardons that this guy has issued. No one is above the law. Not the 300 pardons he sold to people for $2 million each. Do the math. He made $600 million in his first term off pardons. But Crazy Eyes says no one is above the law. Ankles himself is a felon. But that's all getting thrown out.
Fox News Alert, we're just learning the FBI agents have raided the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. It happened at 7 a.m. this morning.
Shortly after the raid began, FBI Director Kash Patel posting on X, quote, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission."
David Smart joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, David.
What kind of mission is that?
Hey, guys, not much we can say at this point, but information will continue to develop. As you mentioned, about 7 o'clock this morning, FBI agents raided Ambassador Bolton's home.
I wonder what it could be that they would go after Colonel Sanders right there. Just spitballing here, maybe it could be 40 years of bombing other countries? Is that what's finally catching up to him? Is that something we could get on board with?
Notable, we're being told by two government sources that they are looking for classified documents as part of a potential leak investigation.
Classified documents! This sounds serious. It is so serious, Bondingo apparently came back into the office, remember? He was a little worried about those files, about those Epstein files. Maybe check out Bolton's tattoo under his mustache. Might be able to help you, Bondingo. He took a break from stalking his ex-wife, sitting across the street so he could get back here and say that this, once again, folks, taking classified documents will not be tolerated.
Look, I don't want to denigrate that. It's not like, he's got classified docs. What's the big deal? Having worked in a classified environment, I had the TS clearances and all of that. It's serious as a heart attack. I used to have a stroke if I thought, oh, my God, did I take a piece of paper out? You can't do that. That is really, really important. And if it turns out that the former ambassador to the UN had top secret documents lying around in his kitchen, then I'm sorry, it's indefensible.
It's as serious as a heart attack, says that guy right there, taking classified documents home with you. A heart attack.
All right, I have a serious question for the liberals on this app. Is there anything at this point that Trump could do that you would be genuinely happy about? Like, he is...
Yes, lady, whose face looks like a thumb. She opens her Face ID with her face, but it's still a thumbprint. Speaking of heart attacks, completely off subject, she asked, is there anything Trump could do that I would support? And to that, unrelated to what we're talking about, I say yes, there is one thing he could do. This is indefensible. You mean like this? Trump put in classified documents, he stored them in the shitter. And I will tell you, it's well known around DC, it's well known in New York, it's well known around Mar-a-Lago that Eric Trump is not a strong wiper. So assuming that Eric Trump even used this bathroom once, just once in his life, it can be assumed that those documents definitely have shards of Eric Trump's poo-poo all over them.
He's shit everywhere.
And to that guy, whoever he is, the only thing that is indefensible today about all of this is that you have me on here defending John Bolton. That's the only thing that's indefensible.
It's such a great point, Lisa, because I think, frankly, that the narrative on the left is somehow that this administration is going, crazy with all these investigations. But the reality is that the inverse is true, which is under the prior administration, there was a complete bucking of the system. And there was a lot of allegedly public corruptions and decisions and behavior that was never held to account. So is this finally restoring public's confidence in that officials are indeed treating classified information and everything else with the utmost care and importance that it deserves.
God. This is all it is now, right? They just send Fox News people out and just go with the vibes. That lady is talking directly out of her ass. Her face should be in that bathroom with those documents, because that is exactly what that mouth is. That's where it's all coming from. This propaganda is so lazy. She says, what if, bro? Just follow me on this, all right? Just give me a sec, bro. Wonder if we're all thinking that this is happening, right? Donald Trump is going after his opponents. He's using the FBI. He's using the government. But what if this is just like the inverse of that? Oh. J.D. Vance denies the FBI is investigating John Bolton because he's a Trump critic. You don't need to be clever. You don't need to have a news station that's more than vibes. What if the inverse is true when you have this guy out here auditioning for the role of chief bootlicker? That's his. You know what's inverted? J.D. Vance's penis. He's got inverted penis syndrome. Every time he's about to have an independent thought, it retracts in fear. While that Fox News host is asking, what if, bro? What if J.D. Vance is in the corner applying his Maybelline, getting ready to get back down on his knees and kiss the ring? And I'm not talking about the ring on Trump's finger. I'm talking about the ring deep within those cheeks. Maybe it's Maybelline. Or maybe J.D. Vance is just a huge piece of shit. And the problem with Fox News is being audience trapped, right? They have the most absolute morons that will just tune in every single day, no matter how many times they're wrong, no matter how many millions, $1 billion they have to pay for lying to them. They will just turn it on, just zone out, right? Hey, I never thought about it. What if the inverse is true? And for that reason, they put, what is this lady, Road Rules? Real World, some reality show, right? That's all Fox News is anymore. They just put them on there and you lose any kind of real talent. I know that's not the point of this channel. This channel is about propaganda. This channel is about vibes, but there's no journalism left. So she could say that one thing, right? What if it's the inverse? And then later that day, the show right after, they could go ahead and say,
and by the way, when Mar-a-Lago was getting raided, to your point about the media, 3 years ago, John Bolton was on television throwing fuel on that fire and making sure that everybody knew that President Donald Trump was a criminal and this had to be investigated. So, things kind of come back to get you sometimes. And those previous statements and the attacks against the administration, you can't argue that Bolton was not surprised this morning. I'm sure he was not. His attorneys were not by what.
On the same program you're watching, she tries to tell you, wonder if the inverse is true. The deep state is somehow still actually there, even though Donald Trump has all three branches of the government. It's still the deep state. And then this lady comes in, 10 minutes later, and it's just like, no, it's because of revenge. And we're in on that. We like it. We like that the government is being weaponized to go after his enemies. No need to do the vibe check, Real Worlds lady, Road Rules, Real Worlds, whatever your name is. No need to do the vibe check anymore. Mask off.
Mr. President, I have a question about the search of Ambassador Bolton's home. The Vice President recently just did an interview saying that it's about classified documents, but that there's also broad concern about him. What are the concerns that you have?
He's hiding by the desk.
I haven't spoken to the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not.
Stop bragging.
I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he's suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll find out about it. But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today, but my house was raided also.
Oh my God.
Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, she's meticulous, and she looked.
Now he's just rambling. Sundown.
This wasn't the way that she had it.
Sundown.
So I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
Another sentence that starts out with denial. This is how he always starts, right? But he's not there mentally anymore. I mean, he always had diarrhea of the mouth, but now there's nothing there because the dementia's sitting in. So a sentence that starts with denial, and then he goes ahead and admits, I'm the chief officer, I'm the chief of police of the United States. That's what it means to be the president. His stupid hat says Trump was right about everything. And people are watching this. He starts off denying it, can't keep a thought in his brain, and ends up just admitting that of what he's doing.
It's my ambition that when we're complete, we can take everybody out.
And this works as a microcosm, one example of millions, one example of probably 100 that will happen today coming out of his mouth. It works as a microcosm in just a couple hours of how pathetic the ingesters of this kind of media are. Not the investors, that's not you, Scooter. I'm talking about the ingesters, the people that eat this up. 57% of Americans fear that American democracy is in danger. Really? We didn't notice. Including 4 in 10 Republicans. Now that 4 in 10 Republicans is a different stat because I imagine 3 out of those 4 support that American democracy is in danger. That's a good thing to them. We are 7 months in. He's guarding himself in D.C. with his own private army that he's going to expand to the blue states in this country. That's what he's saying, the blue cities. He's going to expand it so that they can be there on the day we vote. He's going to get ICE out there to sit at the polls under the guise that they're looking for illegals voting. We got to be here. Of course, by that point, I don't even know if he'll need the pretext anymore. They'll just be there and we'll just accept it because 57% of this country are the only ones. 43% say that, democracy's safe right now. In broad daylight, political opponents in Kash Patel's little hit list, his book that he wrote about, that he swore under oath. I won't go after anyone on this list I made. Okay, Susan Collins is like, okay, I'll vote you in, derp-de-derp. 43% of the idiots in this country don't think democracy is in danger. That number should be 100% already believe that democracy is gone. The Chud Report.
Look, he said that after he cut the deal. The deal cut us down to 0. That's what Trump wanted. He wanted everybody out. The record on that is completely clear.
Over time, Biden pulled them out. Well, with Americans still there.
No. Read the deal, Eric. Have you ever read the deal?
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, I know you got to go before you're embarrassed even further.
I'm embarrassed.